Hey there, Unimura. How's it going? Good to see you. Welcome from being number the first. You kind of got an advantage because you're up and awake the normal hours of Australians. And yes, this is not a normally scheduled stream. This is Paul Daniels went to write an invoice for his customer, and the invoice system came up and said server not found. And I was like, yeah, oh, that's weird. I turn around to the server, and the server is cold and dark. So, yeah, panic stations. So this is my, server pulled apart. It's a HP Miniserver. They're really nice devices, pretty cheap too, like under $300. This is about 6 years ago now. And it's got 4 bays. You can do a BIOS upgrade and you can get a hot swap 4 bays, which is really very handy. And it's been great. It's a very low power machine, but it does the job what I need. And then, yeah, turn around and it's dead. So the hard drives are probably okay. It seems to be either a main board fault or a power supply fault. And of course, naturally, the power supply is non-standard. And the one I did have as a hot standby server, I got rid of about 2 years ago because I thought I'm never going to use this thing in a hurry. Yeah. Wish I had it now. Hey Jessica, Azio, you're freezing. Seriously, what temperature is it out there? It's very warm over here. Johnny Fix, Jan Robert, dead as a dodo, indeed. So I'm guessing it's probably power supply. Unfortunately, there's no fan on this system. Come on. Let's get. Oh, and the extra fun thing is that on the front panel of these servers there's a lock, so that you have to unlock it to take your drives out and then gain access to the mainboard tray and pull it out. Well, about for 6 years I had that key in the lock the whole time, and I think in the last 3 months I must have taken it out for a moment. I never put it back in, so I had to break the lock to get access to my own machine. Oh. So what we're going to do first is check to see if we even do get any kind of response. So we're just going to plug in another ATX power supply. That. Have I got a USB on this? Okay, we've got a couple of USBs, so we can stick our chipmunk in there, and the chipmunk will let us know if we're actually powering up. I'm not sure if it will actually. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Looks like I need an IEC cable. Hey Christy, Eric, hello. We're back. We're back? Yep, good, great. I don't know what happened then. Rare internet dropout for us. Let's see. Just checking to see what options I got here. I've only had 8 gigs of RAM, 4 gigs of RAM in this, but it's been working fine, so I don't think I'll mess with that. What I might do, since it's sort of like telling me that it's time to upgrade or whatever, is I'll probably get an internal SSD or put an SSD in one of the hot slot bays and use that as my OS drive. And then probably get an 8 or 10 terabyte single drive, or maybe 2 6s. I'm not sure. Yeah, 2 6s in a RAID 1 configuration might work well. Anyway, it's probably time I upgraded the actual storage. This, on the other hand, seems to be just ticking along just perfectly fine. They really are excellent little mini servers. One of the best I've ever seen, except when the power supply dies. So we've got a fault in this. Yeah. Now if I was smart I would have had a spare, but I don't. Well, I'm not, and so I don't. Ah. Cracky. Being on buffer for 3 minutes, yeah, that's about right. I really need a fatter handled Phillips here. I probably do have one. I'm too lazy to turn around. Yeah, I think these are actually too big. Oh yeah, that's okay. Hey Nell. And Ernest. do get frustrated with these little cable ties that they use. If we're lucky, and that is a seriously packed power supply. I don't know what I'm doing, so I will disassemble it. Like I said, worst case scenario, I might just have to use a substitute power supply, a small form factor power supply, until I can get a replacement one of these. If I can get a replacement, I'm sure I can. Wow, I'm trying to work out how to even get into this. It's extremely cramped. I don't know if it'd be a bad cap. I mean, it might be. It's hard to say. These ones are like post-bad cap era. And they're generally pretty good quality units, so yeah. Do not tell me there's a... Oh, you mongrels. Okay, that's frustrating. It's frustrating when they jam a screw way down into the corner, like way in there. You sort of got to blindly get it out. Get the earth off. Fan. Hey Sam. Yeah, I can see the warnings about the 330 volt cap. I have a crowbar. Crowbar would be handy, yes. I thought my multimeter was going to turn up today. Unfortunately, it didn't. And I found out why my package the other day didn't turn up when I expected to. It's because they've got a new driver for the courier that brings this stuff to me. And he didn't know where the place was. Okay, how the hell do they get these in and out? Honestly. $79.12 be the negative 12 volt. Yindi, new driver. Yeah, he's a nice enough chap, but he just got thrown. To be fair, half the fault is the council's, because the way the street is, it's one of those roads that it's a straight road, and then for about, say, 400 meters, it's the street name that I have, and then it just magically turns into the next street name. And the signage does not indicate that there's this 400 meter segment, which is still the street that I'm on. And most people turn the other direction at the intersection, thinking that the street name is only on to the left rather than also up to the right. So it's confusing. And I've requested it to be resolved, but everyone just goes, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I wonder if... I don't even know how I'm going to get this out, to be honest. I always wonder how they assemble these, because this is a push-in IEC, as most of them are. So you push it in to the frame and then that's it. So what do? They just solder those connectors once it's installed, or what? Really, I'd like to see him just ditch street names and just have it sort of like a matrix addressing type system, a GPS type addressing, that sort of thing. Yeah, I think the only way I'm going to get this board out is to desolder the active and neutral, and I don't need to do the ground, but active and neutral I've got to desolder. There's no other way around that I can see. Latin long's pretty good, but it's a little bit long. I don't mean to be punny there or anything like that, but trying to get the granularity you need. So instead, they do have a Google's got it, I think. It's a far more compact, segmented system. Hey, Ben Wilson. Anyway, well, we're just going to have to desolder this to get it out. And I was just thinking the other day that it would be good. I saw my main safety Clifford system, and I was going to get one. And I thought, nah, I don't do much of that at the moment. I'll save that. Idiot. It would have been the perfect thing to use right now. Yep, they're not making this easy. What did they? Fed it through as well. They did too. Yeah. You're gonna go for resistor, nobody. Alright. I'm gonna go with we're not gonna have any clue. Was this board screwed to the base? Yes. Alright, back it up, back it up. It could still be capacitors, even if they haven't vented. It can just be a case of them getting old and just drying out internally. So the dumb style of repair in this case could be just simply me replacing all the electrolytics. Camera, thanks. Camera's coming. Eventually. Come on. Eventually. It's been working all day, doing a recording for me, and now that I've decided to go live, it's got a different opinion. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I'll be right back. I don't know if I'm alive yet, but hopefully I'll get there. This is weird. It's actually OBS has just gone and lost its head completely. Very strange. Like I've lost all my setups and everything in OBS. They're there, but I can't seem to... Let's check video resolution. Current resolution is 1920 by 1080, which is not optimal. That is weird. How can it say 1080, 1920, 1080 is not optimal? I don't get it. It's very strange. Anyway, I'm just yeah, trying to get everything set back up. This is most peculiar. It's like, yeah, for whatever reason OBS just dropped its guts. Let's see. Showing the wrong camera from the microscope. Alright, so here we go now. I don't know why it seems to think that it doesn't like the 1920 1080. Okay, so here you go with that. Yeah, a lot of things are broken today. Back at 1080? Finally. Yay! Alright, well, while it was down, I checked the fuse, and obviously the fuse is just perfectly fine. So, just to entertain the popular disdain, it must be using Apple fuses. I'm starting to wonder whether I should put the... I think I might go put the 0.5 Barlow on, because it's actually very difficult to see this. It's one of the very few times that I would go to a 0.5 Barlow. Hey Sonia, welcome. Sorry about the YouTube adverts. How else am I going to get my ice cream? Ah, there we go. 0.5 Barlow. Sounds rattly. That's not so grand. Take my 0.7 off. Oh jeez, people messaging me. Yes, the camera's probably died again already. Yes, it has. Okay, the next bad thing about a 0.5 Barlow is that you've really got to raise the head of the microscope way up. I mean, way up. I'm at the very top of what I use for 0.7 and it's still not high enough. So, let's see. Yeah. How about that? Yeah, this is ridiculous. Okay, we're going to be able to see the circuit board, but yeah, it's ludicrous how much height is required here. I have a dreadful feeling that we're going to find squat here. Hey, Steve. Unless it's an obvious fix, I'm probably not going to be able to fix it. And we've got all these traversing wires left to right. Wow, they've actually soldered them or something and then... Yeah, this is going to be a case of go out and buy another one. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that was from me desoldering it. Okay, that's nothing we can blame. Damn it, it's just so... Yeah, essentially my display was not updating properly. Yeah, I haven't got a flippity flip of what could be wrong here at all. I wouldn't even know where to start. Now, there was no magic smoke that I'm aware of. I just turned around and noticed that the file server was off. And so I'm guessing we, at the very least, we also do not have standby. I suppose the first thing we can do is just measure the resistance between active and neutral. And no, 630k seems entirely reasonable. This thing's still got to go up higher. The resistance to ground on output lines, sure. I've just got to lift up the meter even higher. Not the meter, the microscope. Wait, did I... There we go. That last tall cap looked like it was bulging a little. That's the input cap. How do people work with 0.5? I know what you mean about the big one looking like it was slightly bulgy. I'm not sure whether that was just really within the realm of normal or not. The left AC wire doesn't seem... It's fairly typical for lead-free. No cap tester, I'm afraid. So yeah, I think I might be having to bodge run my server until I can get a replacement power supply. Because I really don't want to give up the... hot swap for... Usually replace all caps. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. It's about the only thing I have an option to do. Everything else is beyond my skill set in so many ways. I usually find with this kind of failure, I must admit, it's often one of the small ones. You know, like a 100 microfarad or something like that, and not so much the big ones. Well, what I'll do is... Man, how would I even... Oops. Ah, mother frickin' heck, that hurt. Yeah, just ripped off the outer casing a bit. L side cap looks dodgy. Firephone, I'm not sure what you mean by L side, sorry. There's some interesting deposits in there. Not sure what they are. And in case people are freaking out, I'm using a nylon spudger so don't freak out. Check through hole resistor. The 100k 1 watt bootstrap often fails. Well, that would be a fine idea if I could find out which one is the 100k. So that's 2 something. That's another 2 something, unless it's the other way around. The AC wiring did seem okay when I soldered it in. I mean, I know it's cracked, but that would give me something more intermittent, and it was definitely not being intermittent. It just one day worked, one day didn't. It's more like it's flux residue on there and not bad soldering. $100k to $400k. Yeah, the trouble is, like I said, I don't know which one's the bootstrap. I don't think that's something else. That's no. Where's that? 5. That's 500 and. Or is it 600? Yeah, that's nearly half a meg. So I don't think it's that one. 2002 is probably this one. Maybe you're talking about. 2004. So that's a 200k. Yeah, so I was thinking Tom George as well. I was probably going to replace them first. But I'll just do some tests here to satisfy the curiosities, even though this is not really the ideal way to test. Two megs, seriously? 20014. Okay, yeah, no, that is 2 meg. So yeah, that's fine. And this one, then you gotta love it when the colours aren't very distinct. So what colour is that today? Oh, what about this guy under here? Yeah, how am I supposed to get to that? That there looks more like a big bootstrapper. And I'm pretty sure it's here and here. Quarter of an ohm. That's pretty much 0. How old's the power supply? About 8 years old now. Actually, that might just simply be an inrush of some sort. There does seem to be crap at the bottom of this coil, actually. Not sure what to make of that. I give this a serviceability rating of about a 0. I can't power this up because I don't have the required device to be able to put these cables in and do the test, because I was a doofus and didn't buy one when I had the opportunity on my last order. Could be anything. Have you checked the high voltage? I can't check anything because it's all stuck together. I mean, it's like, yeah, I'm totally going to be able to remove connector from case. Yeah, that's kind of going to be, that's going to be a near lethal option. Lethal for me, absolutely. I love the quality of the soldering here. People complain about the quality of Apple soldering. Apple soldering is an absolute godsend compared to this trash. And you can't even get these daughter boards off so easy. It's like, yeah, let me just desolder like a dozen connections. While it would be tempting to do as you say and desolder that plug, I genuinely feel like I would be at very real risk of killing myself if I do that. Crikey, I can't get this overhead camera. So I may have to just simply... You gonna switch back? I can't even switch back. Overhead. Resistor seems to be moving easy. It was fine. It just had a fairly enough length in its legs for me to move it around. Thing is, no. I was going to say, if it was something like a resistor, a dry join, things like that, then it would be a little more intermittent, usually. Whereas this is pretty much like it had a bad moment, the end. And it's not coming up, it's not even hinting at coming up. It's just like, nope, I'm dead, bugger off. I'll try to replace some caps, but that's about all I'm going to do. I'll just have to get myself a replacement power supply, and in the meantime limp along if this doesn't work. Limp along with my hodgepodge version, which will be one of these power supplies. I am going to have to get another Molex though, because I've only got the 2 Molexes. But I think I've got a SATA to Molex adapter somewhere, and then at least I'll be able to power up my drives. Whereas as you can see, this one, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Molex connectors. Check the diodes, sometimes they just die. Oh, I agree with you, Brasscock, it probably is. The thing is, I can't even reliably get into the diodes to start with. And if we did find one faulty, I wouldn't have a replacement anyway. Holy crikey, that scared the daylights out of me. Yeah. Got that crazy hot prickly flush through me then. Man. Scared. Yeah. Fear factor. 240 volt. $10 volt 1000. It's actually not even that interesting, the value. Yeah, I've already lost one seat. Stray Kitties, I got that one now. It was probably their plan all along. I was like, right, go pee on that seat, and then they'll throw it out, and we'll have another nice comfy seat to sleep on. I'll go get my box of electrolytics. Jack, you can have a... Sure, I mean, you can have a say. I just don't... the problem is more just the lack of appropriate replacements and stuff. I don't even have a dead power supply to strip from. What I'm after, 1010. So pretty much anything from 470 up should be fine. 1006, no. 1050. 1010. Margarita, powered up measure voltages, doesn't have standby, ground, blah blah blah. It doesn't have standby because this machine does indicate when it has standby. And it's got absolutely nothing. Absolutely 100% completely dead. Something just rolled off my bench. Can't be important. Monday 3.0, definitely heading that way. Jack, I completely agree. I said that before, right at the start. I don't know what I'm doing. The only thing I'm doing is just simply replacing what little bits I can in the hope that it does work. Believe me, I did not say I knew what I was doing. If anyone dare says that I said that, I'll reach through the internet and smack you in the head. The only thing I'm doing is what I've got the ability to do right now because I don't have anything else on hand. And so if you're going to say, well, you don't know what you're doing because you're doing leave it alone. It's like, yeah, I realise that. By the way, I wasn't saying you were using that voice, Jack. I'm just trying to clarify that, yeah, very much. I've had a few that of my own which ended up just being one of the small caps that are dead, so that's all I can replace at the moment. It's all I got stock of. And I don't really see the point of ripping out all the transistors and stuff like that, you know, on the other side to see if they're dead when I can't do anything about it anyway. I mean, I agree with you, Jack Hoffman. I mean, I do not dispute your skills in this, and you know, you're probably well skilled at, but it's not something I can even replace anyway. So right now, at this point, I'm ordering another power supply, and I'm just simply blindly replacing what I can. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, well, I still believe your diagnosis and your process, but I'm not able to follow it. There was no point me following it. It's not disputing you, it's just simply saying it's not a practical option. And I hope people don't take offense with the fact that I'm saying that, because it's just me being straight out honest. It's like, yeah, I'm not here saying I know how to fix switch mode power supplies. I've very clearly indicated I do not. Specifically mains ones. DC type ones, that's fine, I can fix those. That's not a problem. They're substantially less complicated than the AC ones, or AC to DC. Jack, are you even listening to what I'm saying? Yeah, I did look at the transistor. I couldn't see anything fried out on the side, so and there's no bad smell at all. And I have quite a nose for blown electronics, and this does not have any of that aroma. DEFPOM, diode mode them if they're dead. You don't need to get caps. 10 volt 220. I'll just replace this one anyway. So many caps in the box. Damn you, 100 microfarads. You're all over the place, but you're not the ones I'm after. I need to purge this box of a lot of old caps. There's plenty in here that are well over 10 years old. And they're nice Panasonic FMs and things like that, but they're still old. Every damn power supply seems to have its own unique selection of different caps that I see. 110, 25, 30, 330s. It's 2200, 1000, 22. 220 to 25 will have to do. The Panasonic FMs were pretty much my standard sort of cap to use for most circuits in terms of decoupling and stuff like that. Reasonably priced, but plentiful in number. Zome, I'm not expecting that I will be able to. Honestly, I'm under no illusions. I got more chance of fixing an iPhone 6 CPU. Way too much solder on that one. Just drag it up and then clip it off. Cut that one a bit short. It's going to stress that lead a little bit. Can't fast forward if you fix this or not. My last power supply of a TV had shorted switch mode IC on the high side. There's just so many damn things that can go wrong on these. It's hilariously... I mean, I guess it's like all repairs, like we look at a MacBook and you think, well, there's no shortage of bits and pieces that'll go wrong in there. For all I know, it's probably going to be like something in here on this daughter board. What is that? There's a blob in there and I don't know what it's for. It's just a stray blob. It won't be at fault, it's got too much dust on it, which means it's been there a while. Yeah, it's just a stray ball, but like I said, it's got a lot of dust on it, so it's not at fault. Jack, I am reading what you are saying, but you are repeating what you are... I don't know, you just don't seem to respond to anything that I'm saying. But you also have to understand that, yes, I realize I know not what I'm doing, but I'm also limited by what I can do, and I certainly don't have any serviceable parts for this thing, and I would sooner get a replacement supply. So if it's not going to be on the list of things that I have in stock here, then it's not bothered. No point me fixing it. Anyway. Now, none of these have seemingly popped. I love the fact that you can't undo that bracket from behind. Somehow you have to, well, you just can't. You can't take the heatsink off. You have to actually remove the whole board. Yeah. You got a free screw, Nikita Cat. That's neat. Like, I don't even know which one, what the pins are going to be with the base emitter or collector on these. I suppose you can find out by looking up the parts. Check Farnell bridge rectifier. Alright. Let's see what we can do. So K6A6ODs. And this thing behind here is going to be something different again, based on the way that it's got a very different insulating setup. Exactly, Ernest, yeah. Well, looks like I can pretty much only get to one directly. This is why I hate pin through parts. Always have. Exactly because of this sort of scenario. Point 2. Try the other way around. Point 2. It's identical pretty much. Just trying to get under that other leg. 3. Point 4, that looks more like a behaving one. Point 2. That's pretty damn low, really. I would have expected it to be higher than that. And that one's fine. 0.45. TNY27X. Now these are K6A6OD. I don't even know what that is. K6O... what? K6A60D. Field effect transmitter. One and 3. Well, 2 and 3. 1 and 3. According to this data sheet, then the fact that I'm getting such a very low value between the two outer legs is not a good thing. I'll just flip over. So if we just make this bigger. So we were measuring between pins 1 and 3 then. And on here, 1 and 3 is gate to source, which you basically should be open circuit, but then you see the trouble is we don't know what else is in play on that circuit, so there could be something else, like maybe there's a low resistance between those two. A direct short. Well, I don't know. I don't have a schematic. Although it does seem a little bit suspicious. Fair enough, I don't believe there is 5 volt present on this one because I'm definitely not getting a standby indication. Are you talking about the... Where is it? This chip here, is it? No, that's a full 8-pinner. Where is it? I know the one you're talking about. I just can't find it anymore. Oh, there it is, right in front of me. Duh. Fuse is okay. Okay, so the TNY... I mean, how would you even get this bloody thing out? Yeah, seriously, how would you get that? You have to take this board out, basically. And how many pins are on that board? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then all those. So it's 18 pins just to get that flippin' chip out. I wonder if I can bend this board back just enough to get that chip out. I'm not sure if I've got a replacement though. Yeah, this board does not want to bend, it's pushed in too low. I suppose you could take the diode out and put it back in after you take the chip out. What a nightmare. Yeah, the fuse I'm checking is this one here. I should probably check the cap. In line with the fuse. Well, the gate of the transistor seems... Actually, I didn't check C on its own. Pin 1 to ground. Nothing. A pay, no, it's not worth it. It's only... I'm only doing it just for mildly entertainment, although it just seems to be enraging people right now, so I may reconsider that stance. I don't even know if I've got any of these. I'll have a look, see if I've got any in my resistor IC box. It's certainly not a common item. I have repaired some TVs, but yeah, like I said, it's not a common thing for me to have on hand. I had some old large Sony TVs that I repaired and they had similar switch mode chips. Let's see. FOD 814, that's not it. MCP, no. Gas gauge, what? I've got a gas gauge? Oh, yeah, I know what that is, yeah. Well, that's the thing, there's nothing burned, there's just no indicator. It was one of those silent deaths, as it were. Just turned around and it's off. Holy crap, what do you know? I actually do seem to have one, or two. Now, I was looking around for that, can't quite see it on this one unless I've already done it. TNY 264. It's possible the fan stopped working. It feels fairly okay. It's only a 2-pin fan, so I guess we can try and run it. 12 volts. I'll just put it to 9 volts, it should be fine. Prepare for the fan to jump on the table and chew my face. Fan's fine. Hey Sabatino. What's happening here is that we're enraging technicians all over the internet. Now this is actually, this is a brushless, but it's only a 2-wire, so it's fine. Anyway, we know it works. So the question is, how do we get that damn chip out? Do we... I guess we simply have to desolder all those pins. I can't think of another way. Can you? Let's see if I've got my 30-year-old solder sucker around here somewhere. Yeah, you heard that right. It's about 30 years old. Crikey, no, it's about 35 years old now. Come on, where are you, buddy? Let's go for a trip down memory lane that I can't recall. No, you're not there. Come on now, come out and play. No idea what I broke. No, this thing's hiding. Ah, right in front of me. Not really my favorite tool. Never use these on surface mount boards or anything like that, else you will have a hell of a lot more problems than what you started with. Yeah, this is very, very old. Amazingly, the seals are still good. It is Sabatino. Okay, so first thing we'll do is we'll just slather up the board. What if I can just... How close can we get here? Got a vibration coming through though. Yeah, that's a bit better. And I'll put on my safety glasses. Yeah, Jim, I think this one's from Richard Smith's store, Tricky's store. I remember buying it, I think it was my 13th birthday. And my parents said to me, they said, we're going to give you $50 for your birthday as cash. And of course back then that was a humongous amount of money, really. Very generous of my folks. And then I spent probably the next 3 months trying to work out the optimal mix of bits and pieces for me to buy. Okay, I need to crank up the... I need to put my nozzle back on. This really does not work without the directional nozzle. It feels like my elephant leg or something. Alright. To give a demonstration, we will now do the same bit of sort of soldering, and you should see the fumes go straight in. Huge difference. Your thumb gets a workout. Very good if you play thumb wars with anyone in your family. You can crush your opponents, literally. Okay, and at this point you switch over to wick and pick up any of the little dregs. Careful not to suck out the pins. I know, tell me about it. And this is the bit that okay, what else is attached? At least it's only single-sided. Nothing like doing this on a two-sided board and you separate the daughter board and you realise you've pulled up the tracks from the top side. Ah, you mongrel. There's always one more, exactly. I'm gonna have to go microscope mode. Oh, and we've broken something. Unfortunately, that's as far back as I can get. Where are you stuck on? Okay, the bottom section's free. We've still got... there we go. Someone's still holding out on us. Oh. Oh, the big one. Ow. There you go, we're free. Well, if everybody bets different things, then it's eventually one person's going to be right, no matter what happens. Oh, starting to get a little bit low on my wick. It's a 25-meter roll too. Nusacat, yep, statistically that will have to be the case. At least that came out clean. TNY268PN. Oh, we got a problem. This is a TNY264. Is that going to be a problem? 268 versus a 264. Yeah, I just didn't realise that there was the difference there. 268 versus 264. TNY268. It's lower power. Oh, okay. Alright, well, okay. We'll trust Pernov. Pernov, if it goes wrong, it's all your fault. I'm just letting you know that we're coming for you. Q's, that's the... I think it's a 1.2 mil chisel. Standard sort of tip. Oh, flippin'... Alright, this is the other thing I hate about pin through, particularly with chips. You gotta bend those damn legs in every damn time. Why is that? In 30 years, and I'm constantly having to roll the chips slightly to bend their legs in. I don't get it. I'm sure there's a very legit reason why they do that, but I guess I've never cared enough to find out. Works better if you have sockets, that's true, because the bend outs will tend to scratch out the edge, so yes, you make a fair point there. At least that is actually a good reason. Thank you. Instead of, you're so stupid, why don't you just work it out yourself? It's like, yeah, right. One internet for you, sir. I will push this up once I got the first legs grabbed in. There we go. You stick your finger under there, get it burnt slightly. No, I'm not going to socket this. Not that I've got any good sockets anyway. And it won't help actually because the diode gets in the way. Yeah, there's no room. You can see this diode here, it gets in the way. That's some good quality solder and some good quality soldering iron. It's nice when you've got equipment that makes that job so much easier. No dodgy joins there or anything. That beautiful shiny appearance and everything. Make sure the pins aren't bridged. I'd be very, very surprised if they're not, if they're bridged. I think I might use the brush. Yeah, that's some fine soldering there. Now the fun bit's going to be getting it back in here. Oh, because I didn't buy one of those testers. Oh, that'll teach me, won't it? Actually, they're not even testers, they're just a housing, safety housing. I'll put in one screw in the board just to hold it steady. Oh, Margarita, why are you crying for this? Am I that bad, truly? You're hurting my feelings again. Yeah, I know people say just take the socket out, but honestly, I do not trust myself that far. So, my apologies to your wishes for the fact that I'm not willing to die. Oh, come on. Yeah, there is a PCB, there is an earthing screw, but I can't put that on until I'm done with this. Yes, Jack Hoffman, I am aware of that. But thank you. Honestly, it sounds like reading from a manual. This times when you need the 100 watt 3mm fat tip on them. Okay, this is seriously bad soldering going on here. I've got too much lead free in there, causing it to crust up. Very not safe. Jack, you're assuming I've even got that sort of... I haven't got a anything like that. Clearly I wonder if you're actually listening to anything I'm saying or whether you're just simply repeating stuff to make yourself sound better. Because right now, you're just being irritating. You're probably trying to be helpful, but the fact that you're not bothering to adjust for context is a little bit problematic. You cry because you remember doing similar repairs without specialty tools. Oh, well, I'm glad to hear that. We do have one thing, though, that I will use, and that is my RCD. Yep, RCD. So at the very least I'll only die slightly. Ah, damn it. I can't plug it into that. The switch kicks in. Let's see. I'll use this very long extension lead. Okay. Active. Okay, triggers, so it's good. Plug it in while it's... Actually, disconnect that. Plug this in. Then plug this in. Forgetting to put my safety glasses on. And let's hit the reset button from far back. Someone forgot to put the fan in. I mean, sounds like Jack Hoffman, you know, he's got all the tools, he's got the experience, all that sort of stuff, but is failing to realise that this isn't our daily thing, and we're going to probably buy a replacement anyway, and we're only doing this for, well, explosive intent. Okay, let's see if the fan kicks. So reset. Okay, no fan kick. That's a start. Oh, now. Damn it. Which pin's my 5-volt standby? Is it green or purple? Purple, isn't it? Green, thank you. Green and black. Thank you very much, folks. Clive would be disappointed for the fact that I'm not using one of the contraptions that he always uses, and I'm disappointed too. Alright, so we've got voltage on green and black. Oh, purple. What have we got? Purple or green? I'm not trying to turn it on. I'm actually just trying to see if I got a standby voltage. Green is power on. Yeah, I'm gonna have to standby voltage just to see if we have any activity. That was a momentary spit then. It's actually going negative. Let me see if I've got a sacrificial motherboard I can plug this into. I don't believe I have. Crud. No, I've thrown away all my motherboards. Alright. Very worst case scenario, I'll just have to go out tomorrow and buy a whole new machine. That won't be very fun. Okay, that's disconnected, so I can move this. Now we know with the chipmunk in, it does fire up the chipmunk lights if it's got a power supply. Alright, here we go. And that's a green. Nothing go. Nothing's working. That should be lighting up, and it's not. We don't have a short or anything, or any fault, since that would trigger off otherwise. And we just don't even seem to have anything. The fan doesn't even kick for an instant. Thanks, Joseph. Winfield, yes it is, yeah. Noosacat, I already did do that right at the start, and yes, this works with, like I got one of these power supplies here. Oh. These are small form factor power supply and it works. Oh, that's weird. Well, that took a while to test actually. I think we just have to lay this one to rest, and I'm gonna just have to bodge up my stuff. So I think, yeah, into the rubbish bin. Already spent enough time on it. And yeah, just to prove that it is. Yeah, so as you can see, that's up and running. Now that will probably stay in standby. I'm gonna have to replace this thing because I've noticed. Oh, there we go. Yeah, blinking. It's not tripping when I press the test button as quickly as it should. It's given up. There we go, finally did it. It's time for that to be replaced. Katie, I have not found a supplier, so you just have to either get it direct from AMTech or Lewis Rossman. Right. So now we have to bodge this, because I cannot be without my server overnight, because I need to do all my accounting and things like that. This is the downside of using, you know, custom servers and things like that. That if things go wrong, unless you've got a complete spare, you're kind of up the creek. Okay, can we go up any higher? Yeah, that's about it, folks. That's as high as I can get. Oh, Jesus, Jack. Someone just get rid of Jack. ESD in itself is actually, for the most part, a bit of fear-mongering. Yeah, it does happen, but not to the degree that people go on about. Maybe if you're in the actual wafer industry or something like that, it happens, but it's, I'm sorry, but 30-odd years of doing this, and I've pretty much never zapped anything. I do think it's more comes down to the individual person. Certain people are more predisposed, it seems. But the whole spend $1 billion on bits and pieces so that you can say you're static protected is a little bit overstated. Hey, Tony Nash, late night? What? Early. I mean, yeah, you can get static, but the thing is, what people fail to actually acknowledge is the fact that once parts are built into the circuit board, like an actual assembly, the ability for a static discharge to legitimately damage components is extraordinarily limited. unless you like have a specific generator at the right point at the gate of a MOSFET or whatever. Um, Once the parts are in amongst the board, the chances of getting genuine static destruction are very low. The region can play into it too, yes, and the weather. If I was like handling, say, a delicate reference sensor or just something that had a fairly high impedance on a lot of the pins, then sure, I might take some precautions and make sure I'm grounding myself and whatever. But overall, when working on assemblies, no, it's really just a good dose of fear mongering for the most part. Profiteering, very effective profit making, and I have got that kind of backwards to how I want. It's going to be easier to take these connectors off than it is the other one. Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's in pretty much all cases that I know of, it's really a thing of you do a simple, as you said, ground your workbench or something like that if you're really worried, and you've got it covered. And if you happen to blow something, even after that, then maybe it was just its time to die. Okay, why don't you want to? You're holding off on something there? Ah, right, yes. Mine's grounded through some solid wood with an underlay of carpet and a whole bunch of bolts. Like I said, I think if you're doing assembly work and you do have delicate parts, or you're working on high sensitivity equipment, fine, yeah, I mean, I completely agree. But for things like switch mode power supplies and such things, I think it's a bit of an overkill. Not that I'm against overkill by default, but I think losing your head at people who haven't taken the precautions you want is probably a little bit. This cable isn't routed right. It's triggering my cable routing OCD, which I don't actually have, except for this moment. Yeah, it's people. Where's your cable ties? It's like, That's nice. You can cable tie your stuff as much as you like. That's fine. I'm happy with how mine works. Yeah, it doesn't change the way my electrons flow in most cases. With some data communication setups it does, but again, context. Interesting counterpoint there, Leslie. I suppose they could say the trace, the what am I thinking? Yeah, the network, the line, the trace could be connected to something else that's not fried. Anyway, it's a moot point for the most part. As I said, once it's in the chassis or on the circuit board, it's very hard to destroy things like that. Most of the time when it comes to destroying parts on board, you really got to get the heat up. Which is why putting 50 volts from a backlight into a CPU line works so well. Because you've got plenty of energy there to really do something. Okay, ideally this light should now come on. Get one of those wireless wrist grounding straps and pretend you're protected. That's a good idea, yeah. I can't believe they exist. Okay, we're up and running. Fan spinning, lights green. You can see the You can see the blue lights on. So I'm going to have to have this rigged up in my office for a couple of days until my replacement power supply comes up. I've got 3 hard drives that I need to slot in. I may, like I said, change it down to just one, maybe even just a single 8 terabyte. It doesn't give me any backup, which is a problem, but yeah, it's a bit expensive for me to get 2 8 terabytes at this point. I mean, that's like $700. I know data's invaluable and stuff like that, but yeah, if I was going to go 2, I'd probably get 2 6 terabytes. Yeah, Kenneth, it is statistically possible, as I say, but realistically, yeah. Okay, I should be able, yep, power's off. That's fine, going to orange mode, so that's good. So this is working fine. We'll just have to limp along like that until we get a replacement power supply. And there should be enough power in these. These are 200 watt or 150 watt. Yeah, they reckon 400 watt. That's a load of bollocks. I wouldn't rate this more than 200 watts at best. Yeah, well, I started when it was 20 megabyte hard drives, the ST225s, and that took me a while to fill up. Mind you, once I had filled it up, then it was just the mad race to the next size thereafter forever. Now I've got to go find one of these cable. Yeah, I've got to go find one of these power supplies. Hopefully they're still available. I'm sure they are. You get lots of cloud storage for 700, but it's not fast enough, and it's not in my office. And that matters when the internet goes down and I'm trying to do accounts. Cloud storage is good if you just want to offline, off-site backup. Certainly I agree there. And I've got the internet capacity to be able to do that sort of thing, because I have a 140 connection, so 4 megabyte a second. I did say byte. 4 megabyte a second up. It's viable. You can do that. ST506 10 megabyte full height. I haven't actually seen one of those. Yeah, the 225 was the first one I got to see. So I'm using multiple 8 terabyte drives now. I've got a couple for my customer archive system, so whereby someone comes in and there may be an issue with their drive or something like that, and I'll put it in and clone the drive. So I've got an 8 for that, a couple of 8s for that. But yeah, for this machine, I don't have much at all. I did have a 4 terabyte, but unfortunately I put that into this machine so that it's my video recording hard drive. Why do you need megabytes of Windows OS just to play solitaire? Yeah. Almost perfect score. One person disliked. That was probably the technician who knew a lot but didn't know a lot, if you know what I mean. He knew a lot technically but didn't know how to present his knowledge in a way that would actually be acceptable to the people whom he was trying to present the knowledge to. That's an important thing that you have to think about if you want to. You can be very smart, and that's fine to keep it to yourself if you just do your job. But if you want to go and actually start sharing that to other people, then you're going to have to allocate some portion of your smarts to knowing how to convey that to people without pissing them off. That's as simple as I can put it. If you go along and start hitting people over the head, it's not going to work so well, and you're going to wonder why the world hates you. You're going to think that the rest of the world's stupid. But really, you have to put that effort in it too if you expect other people to put the effort into trying to, they're going to put the investment into listening to you and trying to understand what you're saying. So you need to put the investment into making sure you try your best as well, rather than expecting everybody to come to your level. And they may not be able to get up there because there may be too many steps. And you need to get down and give them a hand if that's what you want to do. If you don't care about that, no problem. Carry on with things. But don't go out trying to teach people in a way that doesn't really teach them. It just turns them off the subject. Hey, Gary Dutton. Big hard drives from Western Digital have a problem with the RAID SMR. Avoid red SMR. The 8 terabytes I have are actually SMRs, but it's not a problem for me because of the fact that when I'm doing, say, the hard drive cloning, it is a fairly continuous process. But yeah, which is why I'm kind of thinking maybe I'll go 6 terabyte because most of the 6 terabytes are not SMR that I'm aware. Yeah, the gloves, it's a bit of a problem. Alright, okay, well, I'm out of here. It's actually only 6:45 in the evening. I don't have anything repairing for tonight. Unfortunately, the multimeter didn't turn up, so there won't be any programming that I was planning for that. I may do programming for the camera controller that I've been playing like the last 2 months, but I also might be doing my finances. I'm not sure. We'll see how this machine comes back together, and we'll take it from there. Okay, I'm out here. You'll take care. I'll see you next time.